In today's video, we are going to talk about word mapping, also known as phoneme-grapheme mapping. We're going to talk about how to do it. I'm actually going to show you how to do it step by step, and then I'm going to give you some freebies to go along with it. So if this interests you, please keep on watching. So if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Anna DiGilio. I was a primary teacher for 23 years, and on this channel, we go deep into all things small group instruction, primarily reading, but we do some math as well. So please, if you have not yet, please subscribe to this channel by clicking that subscribe button and that little bell next to it so you're alerted every time one of my new videos goes live. So let's jump into today's video. We're going to talk about word mapping or phoneme-grapheme mapping. Interestingly enough, we're going to talk about phoneme-grapheme mapping when it comes to high-frequency words, because many believe that high-frequency words have to be memorized. We've been teaching them as sight words for so many years, probably decades, decades and decades. We've been teaching children to memorize sight words because they aren't phonetic or decodable, when in fact, many of them, and honestly, most of them, are phonetic and are decodable. So I'm sure you've heard some of the rumblings around heart words. Heart words are words that are irregular, high-frequency words. So today what I want to do is I want to go into detail about how to map or word map or phoneme-grapheme map high-frequency words. We're going to talk about irregular high-frequency words, and we're going to talk about regular, phonetic, and decodable high-frequency words as well. So we're going to get into the step-by-step, and then I've got a freebie for you also down in the comments that you can download and use it in your classroom, especially when you're doing small group instruction and you're really focusing on phonics and really bringing your instruction down to the phoneme level so we can build skilled readers, because that's our goal. So first, what I want to do is I want to switch over my screen and I want to show you some very important statistics that you might not know. So first and foremost, I wanted to let you know that a high frequency word, if you don't know, is a word that shows up more frequently in a text. And they're very, very important for students to learn. Number two, 13 high frequency words, these little words that you see right here on the screen, account for more than 25% of words in print. Yes, you heard that right. These 13 tiny little words account for 25% of text in print. Additionally, only 6 of these words are considered irregular or heart words. Now, not the whole word is even irregular. Sometimes it's just one part of the word that's irregular. Sometimes it's the whole word. But only 6 of these 13 words are irregular. That's not even 50%. So we're going to teach you today, or I'm going to teach you today, how to map irregular words, and we're going to talk about mapping regular words. But before we do that, I also want to talk about a couple of other notes. I wanted to show you this piece of information because I thought this statistic was a little crazy. These 109 words in this table and their derivatives, meaning these words that either have an S, an ED, or an ING added onto them, make up 50% of all words children will encounter when reading. That's a pretty crazy statistic, that these 109 words that make up 50% of all words children will encounter when they read. Another statistic, when children know these 109 words and their derivatives, plus they have some basic phonics knowledge, do you know they can read up to 90% of all single syllable words they encounter in texts? How crazy is that statistic? I thought that statistic was just insane when I read it. Additionally, 33 of these 109 words are irregular. Only 33 of them. That means the rest of them are completely phonetic and decodable. They're not irregular. So only 30% of these 109 words are irregular. That's it. I believe that's such an amazing statistic that I really wanted to share with you, because if students are given this bank of words and they're explicitly taught how to phoneme grapheme map them and understand that 70% of these words are easily decodable because they're phonetic, and only 30% of them are irregular, which accounts for only 33 words. And we explicitly teach students how to map these words and understand that they're irregular and they're heart words, and only a portion of the word we have to remember by heart. We don't need to memorize 109 words. We need to work on focusing on the phonemes that we know in these words, and then understanding how we map the rest of it and know that, okay, that's the only part we have to remember by heart. So that's the difference between irregular high-frequency words and phonetic or decodable high-frequency words. So I believe this list of 109 words is a foundational piece of children becoming skilled readers. I think we should give them these 109 words, explicitly and systematically teach these 109 words to children, because I believe that this is going to help them become skilled readers more quickly and more efficiently. So with that being said, inside of our Structured Literacy with Ease program, we have an entire sequence just on these 109 words. How to teach them, the lesson plans to go with them, everything you need to teach these 109 words. Additionally, we include this very cool assessment in the program on these 109 words, that it's an automated data generating assessment where it's a spreadsheet. You're going to test each one of your students on these 109 words, and then any of the words the students don't know, it automatically generates groups of students that don't know specific words, which means you could be very, very intentional about what words you're teaching to the students. Why teach them a word they already know, right? So with this assessment that we created, you test your students, and then it automatically generates a list of students that don't know specific words, and then you can group them for skill groups. That's the goal of the readiness sequence inside our Structured Literacy with Ease program. We want to give students a solid bank of words so we can move into wonderful and really detailed decodable readers that are not contrived. Many decodable readers have very contrived language, and we wanted to take that out of the equation and make sure that we give students decodable books that don't have contrived language. So we wanted to give them a solid base of words so the language doesn't have to be contrived. And that's what the readiness sequence is all about. So I wanted to give you a little bit of background about these 109 words. So first and foremost, let's talk about how we're going to map these words and how you actually do this process of phoneme grapheme mapping. Now today, I'm going to use our brand new Map It words paddles. We are so excited about these. These are magnetic paddles that you can use, and you can do this whole group and you can do this small group, and we're so excited about these new paddles. They're whiteboard on both sides, they're magnetic on both sides. One side is blank and one side has a phoneme grapheme map on it, so we can easily teach children how to map words. Another thing about this is that this would work really well if you want to do some phoneme grapheme mapping whole group, because then what you do is your students can quickly hold them up and you can be seeing what the rest of the class is doing because they're holding them up. You can see where they move the graphemes, and you can the phonemes and the little counters to move the phonemes, and then you can see if they put the graphemes in the correct spot. So our paddles are brand new, and we just launched them and we're so excited about it. So definitely check those out in the comments, in the description below, if you're interested in getting your hands on these for whole group phoneme grapheme mapping, or small group, because you can also do this in small group. So we have a couple of different ways that we could teach phoneme grapheme mapping. You could just do it on a work mat and a screen, a sheet protector, or of course you can use the paddles. I'm going to use our paddles today. So basically the first thing you're going to do is you're going to say to a student, we're going to start with a word that's decodable, something that's phonetic and decodable. We don't want to start with a high frequency word that's irregular. Let's start with a decodable high frequency word. Let's start with the high frequency word, not. So I'm going to say, boys and girls, listen to this word, not. Echo it. Not. I will not go to the store today. Not. Echo it. Not. So they echo the word. That's important. Now what we want them to do is we want them to tap out and count the phonemes in the word not. So let's do it. Boys and girls, watch me. N, a, t. Not. N, a, t. Not. Let's do it together. N, a, t. How many times did we tap? How many sounds or phonemes do you hear in the word not? 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little counters, our magnetic counters, and we're going to push them up into the boxes. 1, 2, 3. Because our word has 3 phonemes or sounds, I use those words interchangeably. Very important. 3 words or sounds. 3 sounds or phonemes, and we use the words interchangeably. We put them up into the boxes. Great job, boys and girls. The word is not, and we know it has 3 phonemes or sounds. Now, if your students are brand new to phoneme grapheme mapping, I would do this next step. I would show the students the word not. Watch me, boys and girls. N, a, t. Watch me. N, a, t. Not. So if your students are brand new to phoneme grapheme mapping, kindergarten, first graders, this is all new, I would do this step. If you've already been doing phoneme grapheme for a few months, I would skip this step, okay? We want to give them a visual. So now I show them the word, and then I hide the word, okay? Now we say, okay, boys and girls, what we're going to do now is we're going to say each phoneme, and we're going to push them up into the circles as we say it. Are we ready? Let's do it together. N, a, t. Not. Good job. Now, I want you to write the graphemes or letters that match those phonemes. N, a, t. Write it down in the squares. Write the letters that match. And they have dry erase markers in their little pencil boxes or pencil cases, and then you can hand these out. So there, we wrote the word not. So now I say, boys and girls, show me your word. Do we have our 3 phonemes up here and our 3 graphemes or letters here? Let me see. And then I say, good job. Does your word match my word? Does your not match my not? Good job, boys and girls. Excellent work. Okay, let's erase our letters and let's bring down our phonemes and let's do another word. Now you want to bring another word in. Again, do a decodable word, a phonetic word that is not irregular. Really important to start with some words that are not irregular. Let's do the word hymn. Hymn. Let's tap out the sounds. Echo it. Repeat after me. Hymn. Echo it. Hymn. Let's tap it out. Again. Hymn. Good job. How many sounds or phonemes do you hear? 3. Good. Let's put our 3 phonemes in the boxes. We know there's 3 phonemes in the word hymn. Good job. We have hymn. Now, boys and girls, watch me. Now, again, only do this if they're new. Watch me. Hymn. That's hymn. All right, boys and girls, let's push up our phonemes and say the sounds or phonemes in the word hymn. Ready? Hymn. Say it with me. Hymn. Good job. Now that we pushed our phonemes up, let's write the graphemes or letters that match the phonemes. Let me see you do it. Let me see you do it. Hold up your paddle. Did you write the word hymn? Does your hymn match my hymn? Great job. Good work, boys and girls. Excellent. That's the word hymn. Now, let's erase our board. Now, maybe you could do a word that has either a digraph or maybe even a blend. So maybe we could say, boys and girls, let's think of the word ship. Ship. Echo it. Ship. Let's tap out the sounds or phonemes. Sh, I, p. Ship. How many sounds did you hear in the word ship? Sh, I, p. Good. 3. Let's move our counters up. 3 counters because there's 3 phonemes, 3 sounds in the word ship. Okay, boys and girls, maybe this time I don't write the word ship. Maybe I do. It depends. Again, you want to see where your students are with phoneme-grapheme mapping. All right, boys and girls, let's push up our counters and say the phonemes. Ready? Sh, I, ship. All right, let's write the graphemes down that match the phonemes. Sh, I. Boys and girls, let me see your word. Hold up your paddles. Did you write the word ship? Sh, I, ship. Good job, boys and girls. That's it. That's it. That's how you do phoneme-grapheme mapping. Now let's talk about an irregular word, okay? So let's talk about those heart words that are not following typical English sounds, and they break the English rules. And that's why we consider them irregular. So let's use the word from. Let's use the word from. Okay, boys and girls, let's say the word from. Echo it. From. Good job. Now let's tap out the sounds. We have f, r, m. Let's do it again. F, r, from. How many sounds or phonemes in the word from? 4. Good job. Let's push it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now we know the word from has 4 phonemes. Let's push up our counters as we say the phonemes. You ready? F, r, m. All right. Now let's talk about this word from. What letter spells the f sound or says the f sound? I hear teachers say it both ways because we make sounds, letters don't, right? People make sounds, letters don't. So sometimes I hear teachers say, what letter or what sound does that letter spell, right? Sometimes many teachers say make. I think it's a little bit easier to say the word make, but I get why some teachers do that. So that's up to you how the language that you want to use. So let's think about the first phoneme. What letter makes the f sound? F. Very good. Let's write it down. Good. Let's talk about the next phoneme. What letter makes the r sound? Good job. R. Excellent. You could also use those words graphem, phoneme. Important to use both of them. So what do you think belongs here? It's making the sound. What letter do we know or what grapheme do we know makes the sound? Oh, a U. Okay, yes, you're right. In this word, though, it's one of those heart words because it doesn't follow the rules. So before we talk about this letter, what's that last phoneme in the word? M? What letter makes the m sound? Good, M. Now look at that. The word from is mostly phonetic and decodable. There's only one part of the word that is irregular and doesn't follow the rules. So we're going to say, boys and girls, that sound here is actually an O. I know O usually makes or O, but in this word it makes the sound. So because it makes the sound and it doesn't follow the rules, I'm going to put a heart under it because that's the part we learn by heart. That's the part we learn by heart. So that's why we call these words heart words, because we have to remember just that part by heart. Not the whole word, because the whole word isn't irregular. The whole word, almost the entire word, 75% of this word is phonetic and decodable. 75% is decodable, and only this one part right here is the hard part. The heart part, we have to learn it by heart because it's a part that's irregular. So we have to learn this part by heart. So from is F-R-O-M, and this is the heart part. We have to remember it by heart. The part we remember by heart. We don't need to know and memorize the word from by sight. We can absolutely look at the phonemes and the sounds in the words, map them, and then just focus on the irregular part, which is the O, and it makes the schwa sound. Now, can you talk about the schwa sound? You can tell them, that's called a schwa, right? That's called a schwa. But you don't have to get into that, especially if they're new to phoneme grapheme mapping. But you could throw it out there, let them know there's a such thing as a schwa that they're going to start learning about, right? Because schwa is an extremely, extremely common sound in the English language, the schwa sound. So that is how you phoneme grapheme map or word map an irregular high frequency word. They only need to remember this one part by heart because that's the irregular part. And that's how you map a word that's irregular, high frequency words that are irregular, and high frequency words that are not irregular, and they're totally phonetic and decodable. And this is how you do word mapping. Now, a couple of things, again, I want to just mention with this word mapping activity. Number one, I've got a freebie for you in the description below. It's the directions on how to word map and some word mapping mats, okay? Additionally, understand there's a difference between orthographic mapping and phoneme grapheme mapping. Orthographic mapping is a process that happens in your brain. It's actually a mental or brain process that happens. It's what happens when you connect the speech sounds to word letter chains in your brain. It's what happens in your brain to make the word become an automatic sight word. Not sight words like fry or dolch. I mean any word as an automatic sight word, like environment. That becomes an automatic sight word eventually, right? So when we say sight words in that respect, it means any word that becomes a sight word and part of a person's orthographic lexicon. So that's what we mean by sight word. So again, in this little freebie that I'm going to give you down below again in the comments, all you have to do right here is just read it. It tells you a little bit about orthographic mapping with some of the research, and then this, and I also give you the directions on how to do it. And then if you're interested in getting our Mappets paddles, check that link out in the comments, in the description below, because we are so excited about this brand new product. They are so sturdy. They are magnetic on both sides, dry erase on both sides. You can use this for so many different things. And when your students become even more familiar with phoneme grapheme mapping and they don't need the boxes and the circles or the counters, and they just want to start mapping by thinking about the sounds and writing lines, you can move them to this side, which is a blank slate, and have them map words. So we want to really scaffold our instruction. We want to do that gradual release, right? And we want to get them and spiral them where we need to go, right? So we start easier and we get to a more complex or harder way of doing the same skill. So that is word mapping or phoneme grapheme mapping. So I hope you'll check out our brand new Mappets paddles down in the description below. We're super excited about this new product that we have now released, and we'd love to get it into your students' hands. So check out that link below, and don't forget to check out Guided Readers, because our Guided Readers program has our brand new Structured Literacy with Ease program. It is an explicit and systematic program that is completely based on the science of reading. It includes decodable readers for every single lesson in the program. There are 6 sequences in our program, and it is a phenomenal, phenomenal program to really help you provide explicit and systematic phonics and reading instruction during your small groups. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.